This is the Nunya Phonebook and Nunya SMS text editor operations. The Nunya Phonebook is designed to operate directly with the Nunya text messenger. I have two simulations of two different cell phones here, each one running its own individual Nunya Phonebook and Nunya text messenger. To enter the Phonebook, you simply enter your password and click Open. On the first time, you just simply enter your password and click Open. If you wish to add an entry, click on Add. In this case, we will go ahead and edit an entry that exists. That entry has a name, a phone number, and the method of sending and receiving messages. This essentially says that the person that I am communicating with, Charlie, there is his phone number. I will send encrypted messages to him using this method, a test key in the software SD card storage area, and I will receive encrypted messages from him using this key, test2.key, in the same storage area. Now the other user over here, I'll go ahead and enter his password, open the Phonebook, and edit the entry for Mars. Now Mars, there is his phone number, and when you do enter a phone number, enter it the way that your carrier operates. For example, my carrier puts a plus sign in front of the 1, the country code, area code, and then the phone number itself. And in this case, I'm going to be sending information encrypted to him using this key, test2, and I will receive information from this person using this key, test key. These are two different keys that have been created using the Cipher Lite utility. Now, essentially, you will note when you look at this that the keys are essentially inversed. When I create a key and give it to someone else, I will be sending that information using that key. They will put that key in the receive area, and when they create a key for me, they will put it in their send area because they are sending it using their key, and I will put it here in the receive area. Now this is a 2-key one-time pad. Each person has their own key which they are transmitting with. Now you can use the same key file, you can use any file as an encryption method. You can use a JPEG, an image, a video, sound files. Just do not change the file. The keys must remain the same. Now if you wish to change anything, such as enter a password, say I wanted to send password instead of using a key, you would enter the key after clicking the password radio button. Now if I wanted to say send using a file, I click the file radio button. It will take me to a directory. You can select the directory where your key is going to be stored. If there are subdirectories within each of the main directories, you just hit the arrow and it will take you to the subdirectory listings. Once you once you reach the directory that you wish to select from, click Select, and it will show you all the files within that directory. And in this case, test2 key, and I will select it. And once you select the key, it will put it in the entry. In order to save this, you would click the Save button, and it will take you back to the main menu. Now I'll go ahead and edit that one again. I will select the file entry for a key, select the directory, and I will select the key that I want to send in this case, and it will put the key in the send area. If you have, it will default to none, and if you have no key or no password agreed upon to send and receive, just click on the none. The reason for that is it will transmit the information in the open at that point. When you receive messages from someone who is not in your phone book, it will always come in with the none setting because they are sending you information in the open. So I will go ahead and save this entry. You can delete them if you wish. And then on the way out of the phone book, in order to save what you have just done, you must click the Save button. Cannot emphasize this enough. Click Save on the way out. You will receive a message. Phone book has been saved. And you may exit the phone book. At this point, once you and the other person have entered the appropriate information, name, phone number, send and receive keys, whether it's none, password, or a file key, you may begin to communicate. I will go ahead and exit the phone book here and start up Nunya on the first user. You must enter the same password that you used to get into your phone book. You cannot operate Nunya without your password. Do not lose it or forget it. Otherwise, you'll have to start all over. Of course, by utilizing a password with the appropriate encryption in the background, all of your information, including the phone book and any communicated messages back and forth, are now encrypted. And without that password, anyone even obtaining your phone cannot get in. Now in this case, I will go ahead and select Contacts. That's your phone book. You will recognize there is the first entry here. I will select it. You notice it now has the cipher on. That means that you will, when you send messages, you are going to be sending them encrypted to the other person, in this case Charlie, at this phone number. And at this point, in order to send a message, you click on Send, and you just simply enter the message and click on Send. Now Nunya will display the message sent, and it will also display noting that the message has been sent, and as you can see, it will automatically start once it receives a message on the other side. I will enter my password to get in, and at this point you're just sitting. You notice it says the phone book is open. I'm sitting here waiting. Okay, what you need to do at this point, since you have just received a message and the Nunya application was closed, you click on the box. It's your inbox. And it will show you all the messages that you have received that are still within your inbox. Nunya does not delete the messages. You may use your regular text editor or your regular text SMS messenger to delete messages. However, it does store them in an encrypted fashion, so your regular text messenger will not really understand whatever information is in there other than seeing garbage, and I will demonstrate that in a minute. We'll go ahead and select the message sent today at this time, and there's the message from Mars. There's their phone number, the key percentage remaining, and the message itself. Now, the reason why you see this key percentage, this is for the one-time pad operation. Essentially, the idea here is you use your key one time. It's kind of like a fuel indicator on your car. As you use the key up, the percentage will continue to drop. Once you reach a low point at 5%, it's going to give you a warning by changing that key percentage to yellow. You need to replace your key when that occurs. That means that you need to put a new key on your system and give a new key to the other person. Now, this will not stop communicating if you use your key completely up. It will simply wrap back to the beginning of the key at the point that you reach 0. However, I do not recommend that, because that means that you are now reusing your key and it is no longer a one-time pad. The entire object of the operation is to use that key of random numbers that scramble your data one time. Therefore, as you're using it, anyone who attempts to crack your code cannot crack the next message, even if they find out what the text that you received on the last message. So I will reply to Mars here and send a message. I am replying to you, and send it. That message will be encrypted with my key, and it will be sent to the other first user. I am replying to you. So Mars here is talking to Charlie, and Charlie is talking to Mars. And at this point, you can continue to communicate back and forth simply by sending messages and waiting for the reply. You can send up to 200 characters. Nunya will break the messages apart into a multi-message format and automatically restructure them and decode them for you. Now you notice it is a moving screen as you send your messages. Your messages are shown as displayed with the greater than and less than arrows on both sides, and their messages are sent to you in a regular format, so you can distinguish between the two. So, to recap, essentially each person here is sending messages in an encrypted format. Now, what I'm going to do is back out of this and go to the regular text messenger. This is a regular, ordinary text messenger app included on all cell phones that reads and receives your text messages. Now, these are the messages that I have just received from the 556 number, Mars. This is the last message that I received from him, and this is what it looks like in the open. And you can see here are the messages as they come back and forth, and they are encrypted utilizing the two keys that we have entered. Now, you can delete the messages from your inbox. You can set a limit to the number of messages contained within your inbox. You may do those utilizing your regular text messenger. And do keep in mind that, again, Nunya does not delete any messages because they are stored on your system in an encrypted format. If you wish to clean out your messages, use your regular text messenger. I heartily recommend that you set a limit or clean it out on a regular basis. Although if you lose your phone or it is obtained by an unauthorized person, they are not going to be able to receive those messages or read them. They may, however, be able to discern some information either from the time or the phone numbers that they're being sent to. So, that is a demonstration of the Nunya Phonebook and the Nunya Encrypted Text Messenger. An encrypted message system also brings up the issue of managing your keys. You can create keys on your cell phone utilizing the software Cipher key maker, either using the light key option and your camera or the random number generator option. Key files can be exchanged to another user, but you need to do this in a secure fashion. The most secure method is to have a single PC or laptop as a key management system. Connect your cell phones that you wish to synchronize up to this desktop using a PC USB cable. You can load and manage key files onto the PC and put keys on cell phones via the USB cable. The second method is to back up or move your keys, save or back up your keys to a USB flash drive using the cell phone to USB flash drive cable. This way you can exchange the flash drive with other users and they can load the keys that you have created onto their system and again synchronize and communicate with you. Another method is to load or save your keys onto an SD card. Some cell phones have multiple SD card slots, and therefore you can save and back up keys onto a separate SD card and exchange those keys again physically in a secure fashion with another user. One way to exchange keys with someone that you have not physically met or do not have physical access to their cell phone is to encrypt the key with an agreed upon password and then email it or send it as an attachment to a text message. You can use the software Cipher utility to encrypt any key or any file that you make, and therefore you can send it to another user who can decode that key and then begin to communicate with you synchronized using the SMS Nunya text messenger. Another method of sending keys in a secure fashion is to encrypt the key with the software Public Data Application Utility, or PDA, and you can send that key via email or as a text message attachment. This method is slightly more complex, but it is also more secure in that the other user must create a key, a public key, for you to encrypt your communications key, the key that you want to use via Nunya, and then you send that back to them. This requires an exchange of emails and or text attachments. Another method is to encrypt the key file with either a password or the PDA utility and post it to a website or social media site. This is a very easy method of allowing someone to access your key and begin to communicate with you. In fact, you don't necessarily have to use, again, a Cipher created key. You can create your own key or select any file as a key. For example, you could use a picture of yourself on your social media site. They could download this JPEG, and as long as you have agreed, you can again synchronize and begin to communicate. this method again allows you not to physically have access to the other person's cell phone for communication purposes.